Hello everybody and welcome back to my character Crusade Unbound Season 3 Let's Play featuring Blodius Vigilis, the Blue Sentry. Alright, let's go ahead and pull back here and stop invading Blodius's personal space. Okay, so welcome back. This is going to be, I think, maybe the first sort of proper Let's Play episode of this series. Last series we read from Uncle Adius's journal, which kind of went over some backstory stuff, and we spent the rest of that episode just kind of going over some of the mods that we were using for this series, as well as how we're setting up this character as far as his personality, his circles of character conflict, the skills that he's going to be using, what I'm going to be focusing on during character progression, and sort of the things that we are supposed to be focusing on for the Unbound season in terms of hidden agenda, plot and subplot, and personality traits. I'm not going to really rehash those. If you want, you can go back and watch the last episode, the introductory episode. This is going to more focus on his story going forward, although I think we are going to touch on some of those backstory points here today. There was some foreshadowing in the last episode. We talked about some things that we will be experiencing firsthand here. Okay, so let's get to it. Here is Blodius. He is chillin' here in Bruma, acting as an apprentice to his uncle Blodius Vigilis, who is guard captain here in Bruma. So we were out and about doing some good deeds, and we got a message via courier that Blodius wants to see us. So we're gonna go find him and see what he wants. And it looks like there he is over there, hanging out next to the stairs, which is kind of his normal post.
Hey friend, I just wanted to talk. You say you're a stranger who just wandered into my path as I was looking for stolen artifacts. You've accomplished a lot together. You're a rare sort. You're the kind of person who stands by people and does good by a fair city. I can respect that more than I can respect most. If you're up for it, I was wondering if you'd let me buy you a drink at the Gerald View. We can talk as friends, as it were.
Yeah, of course. I can always make time for you, Uncle Blodius.
Great. I'm looking forward to catching up.
Okay, so we need to meet him at the Gerald View, which is the inn that we're staying at, between 4 p.m. and 12 a.m. And we're sitting at 11 a.m. here. So, yeah. We're going to have to figure out a way to kill time here. As you may have noticed there, I am using dialogue subtitles this time around. I usually don't, just because that forces me to kind of focus in on what the character is saying. And it helps me to interact with that character on a more sort of interpersonal, more naturally conversational level. If there are words on the screen, my eyes get drawn there, and I kind of miss a lot of what's going on because of that. But as I think I mentioned last episode, I am running interesting NPCs, and for whatever reason, the dialogue coming from those NPCs is a little bit softer and a little bit harder to hear compared to all the other ones. And that, coupled with the fact that I'm sort of running the game at a lower volume than my voice, so that my commentary can be heard a little more easily above the sound of the game. It makes those NPCs added by that mod sort of really hard to understand what they're saying. So I went ahead and turned the dialogue subtitles on, so we can read what they're saying if we can't hear them. So there's that. Now we have about 4 to 5 hours to burn before we meet Adius for drinks at the Gerald View. And Blodius, being the pious individual that he is, may actually just go ahead and take the time to come in here and worship some of the divines here. Looks like there is a monk here. He's worshiping Kinnereth. We have Mara, Zenithar, and Stendar. This is one of the big ones to Blodius. The blessing that Stendar confers is 1 of 4 to 5 blocking. And we talked in the last episode that his focus on the block skill is sort of reflected in his personality, and that is that he is very protective. Not of himself, but of others that he deems innocent or that need the protection more than anybody else. So we'll go ahead and pray to Stendar there. And who is this? Oh, that's Martin. The last of the true Septum bloodline there. Was killed defending Nirn, this plane of existence, from oblivion. A hero saint in his own right. And then we have RK, Akatosh, and Julianos. Blodius actually, he believes in and reveres all of the 8 divines, and the 9th divine, Talos. I mean, once he gets to that point in his self-discovery as Dragonborn, he will worship maybe all of them as needed. Just as certain scenarios come up that require wisdom in certain areas, he will pray to those specific gods for guidance in solving those problems. But him being a sort of protector by nature, he is drawn to Stendar most of the time, I would say. Okay, so he's just going to sit here and absorb all of this wisdom and holiness, I guess, until it is time to meet Uncle Adius in the Gerald View Inn. Developed a little more of a crowd here, huh? I don't know if it's rude to eat in a church, but we're going to go ahead and do it. We heard our stomach growling. There we go.
You need to stop spending so much money on these little trinkets. I almost didn't have enough to restring my bow.
But it was worn by the Jarl of Morthal himself.
Good afternoon.
I couldn't have passed that up.
Hello.
Can I help you?
So you're a mage?
Yes, I am. I'm hoping to join the Synod Conclave here in Bruma.
And what do you specialize in?
Restoration mostly, but I also enjoy alchemy and alteration. Not so big on destruction. I like preserving life, not taking it.
Sounds noble of you. We dabble in restoration a bit ourselves, but not so much in alchemy or alteration. So how did you end up in Bruma?
Oh, I was born in Bruma. I traveled around Cyrodiil and lived for a few years in Coral, but the mountains and the cold air always called to me. My parents used to say there must have been some Nord blood in our family for me to love the snow so much. There probably isn't, of course. My parents were from High Rock. That's about as Breton as it gets. Too bad they aren't here to see me make the Synod. I think they would have been proud.
So what became of your parents then?
They died a while back. Papa got sick, so Mama went out adventuring to try and raise money for a healer. Mama never made it back, so Papa never got his healing. I'm not broken up about it anymore. It happened several years ago now. But I do still miss the feeling of family, of being loved, you know? In any case, being a mage of the Synod will help with that. That will be my place to belong.
I think in some way we all look to belong to part of something bigger than ourselves. Sorry to hear about your parents, but it sounds like you're doing well. And you're well adjusted and smart.
See you around.
So it was good to have met you, Galarin. Alright, so let's go ahead and head to the inn. So I think this little stop at the church here, it kind of revealed a few things about Blodius. The first is that he does revere the 8 or 9 divines. That count changes, I guess, depending on your belief system and what side of the fence you belong as far as the white gold concordat. But also he's friendly. He talks to people. He also attracts people. As we've seen, Galarin there just came and sat down right next to us and started up a conversation. Hello.
Gerals are cold this time of year. And every time of year.
Sure. Again with this gentleman here, kind of drawn to Blodius just to talk to him and start small talk. He's an attractive fella. He is, he talks well. He's polite. He's fairly warm, and he has a receptive mood about him most of the time. He's easy to talk to, easy to approach most of the time. Also, he's made a name for himself. He's done quite a lot of good in Bruma in his short time here. As last episode, we have kind of explored a little bit all the things that he's done for this county. As Adius had described. So people are more apt to talk to him and kind of share their time with him. He's sort of a minor celebrity, I suppose, and a symbol of goodwill for this city and the people in it. Which is kind of a stark contrast to most of the characters that I play. So it's going to be a little bit of a challenge for me to play somebody who's so socially apt, I suppose. And is it time yet? Yep, it's almost 4:30. We're running a little late, actually. Oh, hello,
Take a
Uncle.
seat, friend. Relax. No point talking as friends if your feet and back are aching, huh?
So let's go ahead and have an ale. And see what's on Adius's mind.
Ah, you came. Excellent. Now we can speak as friends. I guess I should just cut to the chase. For a long time, I've felt like I've kind of just been going through the motions of being guard captain, you know? Like a part of my soul was torn out of me.
Really? I didn't know this. Why have you been feeling this way?
It all goes back to, mistake I made a long time ago. A guardswoman under my service, Ivan Vidici. She was one of the most courageous and stalwart guards, or friends, I've ever had. And she died. Because of me.
How exactly did she die?
I was leading a raid against some bandits. Some of the most dangerous, most loathsome bandits in the Gerals. She was fighting alongside us. I made some bad calls. We were surrounded, and she perished. I've never forgiven myself for it. Never. And since then, it's never been the same. When you're a guard, you've got to be somewhat distant from things. You can't get too friendly with the people you're serving and arresting. And so there's been a hole in my life ever since.
So what are you saying? Are you considering quitting the guard?
Well, the other day, that thief you helped apprehend, the artifact pilferer Etienne Goulet, got out of jail somehow. I suspect we haven't seen the last of it. But as of right now, things have been pretty quiet. Well, except for one thing, one big thing. Ever run into Thorina's cutters?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I've had a run-in with them on the road. Brigands, bandits, generally displeasant folk.
Then you know the kind of viciousness we're up against.
Yeah. So if you need help with these people, you know I'm more than happy to lend a helping hand.
Thanks. I appreciate it. All right then. Our scouts suggest they're based near Greenwood, where the Gerals meet the Great Forest. An old, repurposed fort. Locals and bandits alike have taken to calling it Fort Cutpurse. And Thorina. Meet me back in Bruma when you're done. I'll see what I can do to get you a fitting reward. Best of luck, friend. Be careful in there. Talk to you later.
Great. See you around, Adius. Okay, well this sounds like a pretty big job. These don't seem like any old pushover bandits that many people are used to. Sounds like a tough job for even the guard, let alone us. So let's recruit our Khajiit friend Dartocto here. First of all, would you mind sharing some water if you have any extra? We're just running low on that. Okay, Dartocto, my friend, we have some dangerous work ahead of us. I know that you're no stranger to that, especially with me. Sorry to put you in harm's way again, but if you wouldn't mind, I could definitely have somebody watching my back.
And Dartocto always needs yours. Let us go, friend.
Perfect. So, as we explained in the last episode, Dartocto was accused of shoplifting from the Icewind Trader.
I'm proud of my ancestry, as should all Nords be.
Good for you. Where is Dartocto? There he is. And we convinced Adius to drop the charges against him. It sounded like he was just going to go ahead and convict the poor Khajiit just based on the accusation alone from just the shop owner. There was no other evidence. Turns out there was no evidence. Dartocto still maintains his innocence. And as our companion, he has done a lot of good for Bruma and has sort of changed the people's opinion on him a little bit. He's more looked at as a beloved personality, sort of a heroic figure now, after doing certain things, clearing out bounties, helping to find the Count's stolen artifacts, which helped clear his name quite a bit. And he's become a close friend to Blodius. They have both saved each other's lives. They have been battle mates time and time again. So they trust each other, and they do a bunch of good work together. Alright, so Adius pointed us toward Cutpurse hideout at the foot of the Geral Mountains here. So we have a little bit of a hike down there. So we're going to go ahead and take our horse, get her some exercise. Our horse's name is Marion.
Not many furs out here. Ah, sorry, old habit.
No problem, friend. That's a play on the word mare, as all the horses here are female. Marion is our beast of burden and a furry friend. We've been through a lot together. I am running the alternate start patch for Beyond Skyrim Bruma, which allowed me to start the game here in Bruma to sort of manifest this backstory in-game. As part of that, I've also installed a mod called Convenient Horses that really expands the functionality and the features of horses in Skyrim. Am I going the right way? I am not going the right way. However, that mod is not compatible with Bruma. But there is a patch. There is a Convenient Horses Bruma patch. Now, for whatever reason, there are still features missing from that patch. And a couple of those features are that any follower you pick up here in Bruma does not have the option to buy a horse. So normally, when you have a follower with Convenient Horses, you can tell them, hey, you should go buy a horse. For whatever reason, Dartocto does not have that option. And neither does Gort, who is some relative of Gore from interesting NPCs because of the same voice actor and he has the same personality. But anyway, I can't make them buy a horse. Another thing is that the quest to buy equipment from the hostler does not work. I can go talk to the hostler here, and there is no option to buy any gear for the horse. So saddles and things for horses, if you start the Convenient Horses quest line here, that's kind of where it stops. Those will not be available until you kind of complete the quests that unlock sort of quest and faction specific equipment for your horse. So that's why I'm having Dartocto follow me on foot, because he won't ride a horse for some reason. But once we get to Skyrim and start picking up some more companions, and yep, you'll start seeing horse caravans and things like that. Blodius is much more social than any of the other characters that I've played. Let's make a quick save here in case we crash or anything. So we'll almost always have a follower. At least one, sometimes multiple followers. Who is this guy? He looks like he might be a skooma peddler, so let's go ahead and put our helmet on and question him here.
Only the sweetest moon sugar, the most potent skooma. All can be yours for a fair price.
You know, peddling your poison here on the streets is illegal.
Ah, a hound of the Imperials, a slave to the letter of the law, are we? Listen, this one is simply providing a service that many are willing to pay for. Do not interfere.
You are simply selling people something that they will become hopelessly addicted to, ruining their lives and spreading a virus among the people of this county. So, I think I may have to report you to the guards, sir.
You just had to press the issue, didn't you? Now this one must take your life.
We shall see.
I submit!
Take his boots. And we'll get this poison off the streets. There is a good-hearted alchemist back in Bruma that will be able to repurpose these as ingredients for more beneficial potions. Get him off the street, and we can continue. We have bigger fish to fry, unfortunately. And it's begun raining. That's nice. Also, as far as difficulty settings, I am playing on Legendary from the start this time. I had planned on playing on Master until we got to a certain point in our character progression to be able to take on Legendary leveled enemies. But I accidentally left the game set to Legendary from my Aralas playthrough and forgot to set it back to Master when I was doing some more playtesting not too long ago. Toadstool Hollow. Okay, this is not the place that we need to go. And I wasn't having too much of a hard time with it, so I think I'm just going to leave it there. If it gets a little too hairy for me, then I can always set it back to Master, but I think I'm going to give this Legendary thing a go. Okay, it looks like this side path might actually lead where we want to go. We're looking for Cut Purse Hideout, I think, wasn't it? Yes. A fitting name. We've been there, obviously. We were probably focused on other things at the time. Didn't actually take the time to explore the cave, but we have some knowledge of where it is, anyway. It's always strange when the sun is shining a little bit, but there's rain coming down. We actually get that fairly frequently in Arizona when it does rain here. We tend not to get full cloud cover, so a lot of times it'll be bright and sunny daylight with rain coming down. Or sometimes it'll be bright and sunny in the front yard and raining in the backyard. Quite odd. Okay, here we go. Okay, Miss Marion, I'm going to give you some snowberries. Or a red apple, that's cool too. You stay put, alright? Hopefully we will be back. If we're not, go get out Adius, alright? Okay, and we are dealing with a cave, so let's go ahead and turn on our lantern. Quick save in case we crash on the way in. Sometimes interiors can give us some trouble while we're recording, as we saw a few episodes ago with Aralas. And what else? Iron Mace. Steel Mace will do a little more damage, I believe. And the ice, the frost.
I think we could get many furs out here. Sorry, old habit.
And the frost will help sort of cripple our enemies in terms of stamina. Okay.
Mind your step.
So disclaimer, I'm on Legendary. If I die, you know why, okay? Alright, here we go. Alright, not bad. So I always like to try to add some kind of finesse to my builds. And melee builds aren't always the best builds for sort of...
Anything like that.
Yeah, that is impressive, isn't it? Doesn't lend itself too well to a finesse style of gameplay, except when you're running Ordinator and or Wildcat. You have a timed blocking perk, or mechanic in both, that adds finesse to this to a melee type build.
Who's there?
So you'll see me hit as many timed blocks as I can muster here. And that stagger there was part of a perk for timed blocking streaks, and I will talk about that once I can get to a sort of stopping point to explain that. Sounds like Dartocto is taking it to him down there. Ooh, a pasty, that sounds good. Ooh, you look like a ninja, Dartocto. Oh, you mind yourself. Okay, so we took this guy out. Let's go ahead and throw down a quick save. Oh, he's talking all kinds of crap over there. The game tends to get a little flaky over in this area, so chainmail is valuable. So I will be quick saving frequently in case the game crashes. I can recover more gracefully, I suppose. Alright, Dartocto, I need some help here. Oh, I don't have any... that's stupid shock magic. Alright. Let's see here. Resist shock? Yes, please. Okay, that's probably pretty good. How are we doing on stamina? Good. Alright. Well done, Dartocto. Oh my gosh. He's doing all of our dirty work for us. I'm kind of ashamed. He's making a fool of me. So I am using TK dodge. That helps with a couple things. We are able to cancel our attacks into blocks, which kind of makes combat in this game a lot more responsive. And it also gives us a way to deal with spellcasters and archers. It allows us to dodge our way in so that we can avoid some damage while closing distance as well. So you'll see me doing that a lot if I don't kind of get caught on my heels and have to duck behind a wall or something and have Dartocto come save me. Okay, lots of valuables in here. These are stolen goods. Blodius does not have any problem picking them up because he is just going to sell them all off to let the county make their tax dollars off of them, off the resale of it. So our looting and subsequent hey, it said I unlocked it. There we go. Speaking of flaky, this lockpicking overhaul is a little flaky sometimes too. So our looting and selling off of the things that we find in these bandit raids is officially sanctioned. It's lawful, as we are a lawful good alignment. We're not going to do anything we perceive as illegal or immoral. So sort of stealing, or I'm sorry, profiting off of stolen goods can be construed as an immoral act. If we sell them to an official merchant within the city, the taxes will be levied.
I'm done.
I assume the okay, who's zapping me? Alright, oh crap. Wow, that was powerful. Okay. And they took all our magic too. Great. Really need to hotkey some of these. Also, that being said, if we come across something in one of these dungeons that we like and want to keep for ourselves, the gameplay stipulation that I am adding to that is that I need to sell it and buy it back from a merchant in the city in order for the county to make the profits, the tax revenue off of it, if that makes sense. I forget how I got over there. Okay, I gotta go all the way back around, I think. Watch, by the time I get over there, Dartocto has already killed him with an arrow. Oh, he must have come from that little tower there. Alright. What do you got, bud? Oh! Oh, he just wouldn't die. Blodius is a bit of a tank. He's a damage sponge, but he doesn't do much damage himself. The character build, the playstyle is much more focused on tanking and blocking damage and avoiding, well, not avoiding damage, but absorbing damage so that companions can kind of do the bulk of the work as far as dealing damage goes. Gotta keep them staggered here. I wonder if Imperius, I haven't really played an Argonian under Imperius for a while, but I wonder if that is what was causing him to regenerate his health so quickly after being damaged like that. That may explain why he just wasn't dying. Oh, that was rough. Okay, well, he's dead. But yeah, like I was saying, if I come across something that I like for either Blodius or one of his followers, I will sell it off and then buy it back so that the county can get its tax dollars off of it. It's something I've kind of thought about during previous playthroughs, but have never really acted upon. So the idea kind of came to me when talking to some of the poachers that are about.
This one wonders to himself sometimes. Where will his story end? Where will he be when age consumes him? Be more careful.
Dartocto getting all deep on us and then chastising us for invading his personal territory. So yeah, the idea came to me while talking to one of the poachers out and about in Skyrim. And one of their comments is that the Jarl can't eat every deer, can he? So that sort of implies that the Jarl of whatever hold that is kind of... Ooh, that's fancy. Owns that land and owns pretty much everything on it that already hasn't had a claim staked on it, or is rightfully owned by somebody else. The deer and wildlife, fauna included. So what the poachers are doing is technically illegal. It's just kind of a small crime in the grand scheme of things, with the war and things going on, and banditry and other sort of apocalyptic events going on. They kind of fly under the radar. But I kind of extended that notion of the Jarl being sort of the proprietor of the hold that he's in and the things that are in it to things like ruins and caves and other dungeons that have valuable items in them. So under that, sort of under that umbrella, everything that you loot in a cave technically belongs to the Jarl, and keeping it for yourself is sort of unlawful. So it makes sense for a lawful good character to sell off everything that he has acquired from a dungeon to an officially sanctioned merchant in that hold. And buy it back at a loss to have the taxes levied against these items.
You really want to throw your life away?
All right. Get this poison off the streets here. Sort of everything of value in here. And we've come full circle. Okay, so over where Dartocto was standing, that's where we need to go, I think. That looks kind of like the main tower of this place, but I believe it's locked. So we'll come over here to try to find the key, I suppose. Uh-oh, we're already taking it. Another Argonian. He went down a lot easier, though. Oh, jeez. I was looking for a Dartocto. Oh, no. Alright. Level up came a bit late, didn't it? Oh, and that time Dartocto actually followed us in. That will be helpful. Alright, I think our previous murderer came in through this door here. Are you ready, Dartocto? I hear somebody on the other side of this door.
Who made that noise?
Ooh, he hits hard. Poor woman. Probably taken to try to earn a ransom, and then when they couldn't find somebody to pay for her, just let her rot away. Dealing with some truly evil people over here, I think. So the sharpshooter, he didn't have any keys. Wearing this heavy metal armor, I really don't want to go wading around in water. Spellslinger. What happened to the lieutenant? Oh, here he is. There's the key we were looking for. Some stuff that we can sell at a profit. He was very well equipped, that's why he was able to take us down so easily, I think, in a previous life. Oh, what's over here? Nothing. Okay. So now we have the key to get into sort of the main headquartered area where Thorina is likely holed up. This place is in quite a poor state of disrepair, I would say. Had to take the stairs to a completely different area just to go all the way back around to get to the door that's right next to the original staircase, but that's okay. So you saw me use a restoration spell there. Blodius will use healing spells to heal himself and others as he learns them. He will also be using some illusion magic, mostly just to rally his own followers, though, the people on his own team.
Sometimes this one misses his old life in Bruma. Then he remembers the treachery of the Icewind Trader, and all of a sudden he feels a lot better.
Yeah, I don't blame you, but you gotta let bygones be bygones. Look forward, not backward, D'Artagnan.
Mind your step.
You followed me in here. Alright. Something tells me the closer that we get to Thorina, the deeper we go into this fort, this encampment, the harder it will be to dispatch of our enemies. This looks like an ambush waiting to happen. Okay,
I'll tell you! You'll never leave here alive!
Okay. Did you take care of everything up there? Okay, we gotta level up. One of the self-imposed restrictions that I'm using as a gameplay mechanic here is that... Oh, jeez. Can't believe I missed that. Blodius will only level up if he is praying at a shrine. Any shrine will do. Oh, jeez. So many bear traps over here. So it doesn't have to be anything in particular. I'm not restricting it to, you know, only shrines of Stendar or Kinnereth. Any shrine of one of the 8 or 9 divines will do. And I think we have one just downstairs there too, so we'll take this opportunity to level up, I believe. This Blackbriar Mead is valuable. We can Make some money off of that. Oh, what else do we have here? Yeah, I don't want to become too over-encumbered. I don't want to concern myself with all the little pieces of junk laying around. This is not Fallout, after all. Another key. Okay, we have a shrine to Mara in here. And we can go ahead and level up. So where are we? Oh, let's see here. Alright, so I made a little cheat sheet just like I did with Aralos, because it gets hard to keep track of your attribute split when you get up there in levels. So we're getting ready to take level 25, and I believe this is a Magicka level, so we'll go ahead and take that. That is good. We're a little, casting that fast healing spell is getting a little tough. Let's see, where are we with block? 99, we're about halfway to level 100. I believe I've got this perk tree completely fleshed out except for two things, and that is Mocking Blow, which is only effective with two-handed weapons or a weapon without a shield. We're using shields all the time, so this is kind of useless to us. And the other one is Dragon Scales, which means we take no damage from attacks during a timed block as long as we have stamina remaining, which is nice for very powerful attacks. As long as we time it correctly, we won't take any damage from it, regardless of what that attack is. But we're not ready for that yet. I might bank the perk, but I think we can make use of this perk in other ways, either doing a little bit more damage with one-handed, or moving over and using heavy armor. And there are some perks in the heavy armor tree that are really useful after this rallying standard, if you have followers, which I do plan on having. So once we're done with block, I may split my attention between one-handed and heavy armor, with sort of an eye going toward heavy armor more heavily, so I can get this rallying standard. But for now, it'll keep us alive. We're not really focused on dishing out damage. We're just more focused on absorbing it and keeping our followers safe while they do the real damage. I'm also running amazing follower tweaks. So Dartocto and whatever other follower I happen to have will level up with me and get stronger as I go. Or as Blodius goes, I should say. Another thing about gameplay is you see me playing in first person a lot on this. And there are a couple things behind that. I know third person is mostly preferred for people who like to watch Let's Plays of Skyrim and other BGS titles. But with this particular build, I find it easier to land timed blocking in first-person view. It's just a little harder to pick out subtle changes in animation that sort of tip an enemy's attack. If the camera is pulled back and kind of farther away.
If you want me to die, you're probably hurting.
Ooh, that was rough. Got a named enemy here too. Oh, and that increased magical pool is already helping, as I think we can already cast another healing spell if we need to. Well done, Dartocto. You are fearsome, my friend. There we go. We're just about over encumbered, but luckily we can have Dartocto sort of shoulder this burden for us as well. The benefactor's note.
What is it?
Give him some of this heavy stuff that we don't need right now. That ought to do it for now.
Goodbye, friend.
So these complete quests for the people of Skyrim is part of the Imperious race overhaul by Anision, which I'm running. It's a great mod. I like it a lot. Let's see, where is that? Imperial Colovian Star. So this will, once I complete 20 quests for the people of Skyrim, or Bruma included in that actually, it will unlock a racial specific ability, sort of a more major power that I can use once a day. And I don't really remember what the Imperial one is. I think that's the one that's inverses all of the attribute ratios.
This one has a bad feeling. Weapons at the ready.
I think we took care of everything, Dartocto. So for example, if you have 10% in all magicka, health, and stamina, and you cast the Colovian Star power, it will invert that ratio so that you'll have 90 of each attribute instead of 90% of each attribute instead of 10% of each attribute. If that makes sense. Very helpful.
It's good to see a familiar face around here, friend.
Very balanced as well. So if you're running really low on health, but you have a lot of magicka or stamina, it becomes sort of a tactical decision whether or not to activate that power, because though you will be gaining a lot of health back instantly, you'll also be losing that much stamina and magicka if you have a lot of it left still. Too difficult. Too difficult. And that one can't even bash it. Okay. Well, if the Count feels like he needs to get into those safes badly enough, then he will have to hire somebody to open them up, because we can't get into them. Okay, there's another chest over there. Yeah, so I was talking about why I am playing in first person. Mostly it has to do with being able to see the animations better and quicker to be able to react with a timed block, which is a huge part of this playstyle. It's a lot harder to hit timed blocks in third person view, that's for sure. Also, with the heavy armor and the helm that Blodius wears a lot, I kind of feel like that would make his peripheral vision suffer a bit, giving him sort of a tunnel vision. And it won't give him kind of like a wide perspective on the battlefield, at least compared to what he would be able to see if he were not wearing a helmet. So that kind of limits our field of view, which first-person view does by default. So I think that's kind of a neat little way to kind of show that as well. Yeah, so the advantage that you get in first-person view in Melee with Wildcat and Ordinator active is that you, the benefit of that is that you are closer to your enemies, and you can pick out their animations better for timed blocks. The drawback is that you don't have a wide field of view when fighting like a lot of enemies at once. There's somebody up here in this tower. He went down easy. Alright, I'm not sure I'm going to be able to get out of here. Luckily, I'm playing on PC and have access to the console commands, and I can get out if I get stuck. Okay, good. Alright, so I think that clears out this area. All that's left is to return to Adius and tell him the good news. So instead of making everybody watch me backtrack to Bruma, I will probably cut the video here, and I will see you back in Bruma when we return to Adius.
You're here. My friend, you've done Bruma a world of good. You've helped me with so much. So much. County Bruma's safer thanks to you. You deserve a great reward for your service. Hopefully, this'll suffice. Follow me, friend.
Wonder what they have in mind. Oh, he's in a hurry, too. Oh, how rude. Let's take off our helmet here. Why are you in such a hurry? I know it's late, but... Seriously, this can wait till morning if it's getting too late for this. I don't think running through the palace is the most mature thing to be doing. No, he's excited about something. Oh. Everybody's here. The Viscount, the Steward, the advisors. Wow, okay.
Ah, the mysterious friend to Bruma returns at last. I predicted as much, did I not? Captain Adius has filled my ears with many wondrous tales about your deeds. I'm sure he embellished at least slightly, but I'm not one to doubt the good captain's sincerity. You have served Bruma ably, and completed tasks that few would even dare attempt. Your dealing with Thorina's cutters proved that many times over. It is for this reason that I grant you the title Friend to Bruma, and with it the right to purchase property here in my city. I would also further reward you. Accept this, with most sincere thanks of myself and my fair county. Pomp and ceremony aside, though, I wonder, what motivated you to do this? Altruism, or something more?
Well, first of all, thank you, Count. I am beyond honored. And, to be honest, I'm just happy to help. People needed help, and I am happy to give the help that I can provide.
Many people ask others for help. Sometimes it's entirely justified, and entirely innocent. Other times, however, it can lead to disastrous consequences. Schemes can be a dangerous business. Don't wrap yourself up in them without careful consideration. I'd hate to meet you as a political opponent if, one day, we found ourselves on separate sides. I'm just warning you, friend. Politics is a dangerous game. Be careful where you tread around counts and nobility. Appearances can be deceiving. However, let's not spend all day ruminating on the perils of politics. You should go speak with Captain Adius. I believe he wanted to say a few words to you before you depart. Once again, I thank you for your aid. County Bruma could use more people like you.
Well, that seemed like sort of a veiled threat combined with a warning? I don't know. I don't really know what to make of that. Anyway. Yeah, so... Hey, that was quite an honor.
I hope you like officious ceremony. At least there are some material rewards to be had as well. I imagine the fancy title will get you places. In time, at least. I've been thinking about it, but I've decided not to retire. Your services to Bruma have inspired me, given me hope. There are still decent people in this world. And having the weight of guilt about my failure somewhat expunged is a welcome relief. Come on, I'll see you out.
Well, I'm glad I could change your mind. You know, all this ceremony and these rewards are great, but I don't think anything feels better than just hearing that I made somebody's life better in some way. I don't think he knows how to use the door. Oh, okay. Throw down a quick save here just in case something goes awry.
Oh, Armion's up ahead. Damn it, I did not need this. Today of all days.
Army
My
on.
experienced Thalmor have got a way of killing the mood.
Oh, the Thalmor agent.
Vigilis, just who I was looking for.
It's about
Ugh.
those reports. Did it really have to be now, right after a big celebration? Do the Thalmor have need of me right now?
Yes, Vigilis, we do. But not in a meeting hall. Oh no. We desire your presence elsewhere.
What in oblivion are you talking about?
We desire your presence in Blue River Prison, Vigilis.
Blue River, the Thalmor prison camp? What is the meaning of this?
You thought you could hide a group of Talos worshippers from us. You thought to play the Thalmor for fools? Are you really so dense? No, enough of this. The dramatic build-up and suspense were both truly palpable, but now that I've seen the look on your face, the novelty has worn off. Guardsmen, let's take Vigilis on a little holiday.
You're not
to
taking
Blue
him
River.
anywhere.
You there,
Oh.
down.
Goodbye, my friend. Perhaps this will be our final goodbye. Tell the Count I'm sorry for the political mess I'll have dragged him into.
I won't let them take
can.
you.
Do what you can for Bruma and her people in my stead. I doubt we'll see each other again.
No, 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 no. Ah! How could I have let this happen? Oh, Adius. I cringe just thinking of the atrocities they're going to be committing against him in that horrible place. Oh, it's all my fault, too. I should never have tried to convince him of leniency with the Thalmor worshippers. I promise you, Adius. I'll make this right. The Thalmor will pay.